Greatest contact. A single bogey and it's nearly on top of us.
Identify.
No transponders, no recognition codes. It has to be a Cylon raider, sir.
Admiral Sirs has got to be a raider.
Well, how the fuck did it get in so close without being detected?
I don't know, sir. I assure you it came out of nowhere.
Starbuck to all Vipers, do not fire! Repeat, do not fire! I am a friendly, okay? Galactica Cat!
It's the Blackbird, Galactica! Repeat, it's the Blackbird!
What the hell is the Blackbird doing out there?
It's Starbuck. She launched in the Blackbird a couple hours ago. Said she was running flight tests for Admiral Kane.
That doesn't sound likely.
Another one of her crazy-ass stunts. Thank the gods.
Say that again.
Admiral.
Wait, one.
We're receiving a download, Admiral.
That is the Cylon fleet. Are these from our recon mission?
No, sir. The recon mission was aborted. These are from Blackbird.
Thrace. She took off and did the whole recon mission alone. My gods, look at these shots, Jack. She put her nose right up their backsides and they never even knew it.
Our primary objective is a vessel named Resurrection by the Cylons. It's guarded by 2 base stars which have been following us throughout this sector.
Our plan, simply put, is to let them find us. We will wait in this system here and appear to be conducting mining operations.
When the Cylons launch the raiders, Galactica and most of the civilians will jump away. A small group of civilians will be left behind.
To the Cylons, they'll appear to be having trouble with their FTL drives and attempting to escape at sublight speed.
The Cylon raiders pursue the civilian decoys, pulling the raiders farther away from the Cylon base stars as they can.
Once the raiders have been drawn off by the decoys, Galactica and Pegasus will jump in and attack the base stars, while I jump in the Blackbird stealth fighter and take out the FTL drives on the Resurrection ship, preventing it from jumping away.
Why not have the stealth ship carry nukes and destroy it right at the start?
We ran simulations on that. We determined that the Cylons would detect the nuclear warheads and destroy the stealth ship before it got within weapons range. When the FTL is destroyed, Galactica and Pegasus will take on the base stars, and our attack squadrons will go after the Resurrection ship itself.
How many squadrons?
All of them.
John Lilly once put it this way: there are no limits at all to the human mind whatsoever, except those we impose on ourselves because of our beliefs. And those limits are also beliefs to be transcended. And that's a view that suggests that the possibilities of human transformation are virtually infinite. And we have no way of knowing the outer horizon of what it means to be human.
And really, to understand all this, everything, you have to go very, very deep into a study of history, consciousness, neurophysiology, everything. You have to be the supreme eclectic type of leaning, and you really have to be wanting to know who you are and what everything's about.
And the thing that you'll find when you go to sacred sites, if you're very humble about it, is that you are on a personal journey, and the sacred site will respond to you in a way that is appropriate only to you. The information is always what you are searching for. And it's the intent you give that energy that defines whether it is used for right action or not. And it is inside these sacred spaces that you will be reminded that you are a god, that you are a bright star.
So what you're trying to do is move through the course without ricocheting off walls or creating karma. trying to slide through things smoothly. How do you do that? It's called flowing. There's a technique that you can do that will allow you to touch some part of your inner being that has more knowledge than your conscious state does.
What is it? A weak vaccine against the virus Agent Scully has been infected with. It must be administered within 96 hours. That leaves you little time to reach those coordinates.
You're lying.
No. Though I have no means to prove otherwise. The virus is extraterrestrial. We know very little about it except that it was the original inhabitant of this planet.
A virus?
What is a virus? But a colonizing force that cannot be defeated, living in a cave underground until it mutates and attacks.
This is what you've been conspiring to conceal? A disease?
No, for God's sake, you've got it all backwards. AIDS, the Ebola virus, on an evolutionary scale, they are newborns. This virus walked the planet long before the dinosaurs.
What do you mean, walked?
Your aliens, Agent Mulder, your little green men, arrived here millions of years ago. Those that didn't leave have been lying dormant underground since the last ice age in the form of an evolved pathogen, waiting to be reconstituted by the alien race when it comes to colonize the planet, using us as hosts. Against this we have no defense, nothing but a weak vaccine. Do you see why it was kept secret? Why even the best men like your father, could not let the truth be known? Until Dallas, we believed the virus would simply control us, that mass infection would make us a slave race. Imagine our surprise when they began to gestate. My group has been working cooperatively with the alien colonists, facilitating programs like the one you saw to give us access to the virus, in hope that we might be able secretly to develop a cure.
To save your own asses.
Survival is the ultimate ideology. Your father wisely refused to believe this.
But he sacrificed my sister. He let them take Samantha.
Without a vaccination, the only true survivors of the viral holocaust will be those immune to it, human alien clones. He allowed your sister to be abducted, to be taken to a cloning program, for one reason.
So she would survive. As a genetic hybrid.
Your father chose hope over selfishness. Hope in the only future he had, his children. His hope for you was that you would uncover the truth about the project, that you would stop it, that you would fight the future. The men I work with will stop at nothing to clear the way for what they believe is their stake in the inevitable future. Trust no one, Mr. Mulder.
Imagine Earth restored to her regal beauty. Stately trees seem to brush the deep blue sky, and clouds billow to form majestic peaks. The songs of birds fill the air, creating symphony upon symphony. Those who own her planet are learning about love. the beauty. Stately trees seem to brush the deep blue sky. The clouds billow to form majestic peaks. Songs of birds fill the air, creating symphony upon symphony. Those who own your planet are learning about love. Perhaps you are aware of those who watch over your home and experience it as a place to visit and play with reality. You are becoming aware of yourself. As a game master, game master.
Hey, you epic being, welcome. It's Under Hodge, Infinite Potential Healing, serving the truth with you once more. And as always, thank you for being here and allowing me to be a part of your journey. As with everything I do, I try to aim all the teachings I offer to be enormously dense in wisdom and truth variables and conscious perception, Tetris, download points for your accelerated development. All right, so I always try and make these big investments. I'm a bit of an outlier. I don't really accommodate how things are out there. I like to do these longer sort of teachings to make them an investment when you might find them and stuff. So I appreciate your ability to not accommodate the reality sort of thing and be willing to invest in longer content when there's a very interesting variable in things these days with so much stuff offered, the attention spans, and willing to explore so many different variables and stuff. I like on one level to try and create a very consistent anchor point sort of thing, that they might be long but a lot of information in there that ideally from my perspective will fast track your development. So that's why I do what I do. I'm not here to conform to the way things are or add a lot of bells and whistles. I do things very raw because I know the highly intuitive people are very discerning and can see through a lot of the stuff. And what I try and do is aim for those people that can see through all the distractions and stuff and really need a reference point, but also want to really push their psychic awareness and effort stamina sort of thing. So I thank you for being here and putting up with the brat down under, because I'm in a pretty good mode and feeling good and stuff. It's interesting. I'm going to offer Galactic Special Forces Part 35 based on the October 5th pure source healing that I've alluded to, and in Part 34 and 35, sorry, it's Part 36, all right? So Part 34 was the first part of this 5+ hour conversation with my epic ally, who it's an honor to share this and those past two in this series with her, able to share with you, one of my allies, that how we do things and stuff like that. So yeah, it's an enormous privilege to be able to share her with you and play with her and get her sorted so she can really rock. And this is a pretty big release for myself, working out what we could do. So if you've invested in the last month or so of videos, GSF 34, which was the first big chunk of this interaction I had with her, where a lot of this, the Part 34 and 35, were just discerning and testing and making sure she's right, but also checking security in many things, but also just checking her talents and where she's at. And if you've really invested in that Part 34, then 35, she's allowed me a chance to sort of show how I unwire and rewire these really epic beings, because it's not easy having huge awareness. You think it might be an ally, but it's very hard to manage all the angles that come at you, all right? So this was done October 5th, all right? And it's the main body of that big mission. So the last two recordings were sort of setting her up so we could really go into it. And as I say, like, I'm all about infinite potential, and you can just see the dynamics if you've explored them and stuff, of how I've sort of really anchored. It's not about what I can't do, it's what we can do. We just got to envisage it, you know, imagination and possibility and all that. Why do we have a limit on ourselves? So I was just holding the possibility, but it's just, we're being so conditioned. If you've watched the last two videos I did before the weekend of the US election, I did our intuitive potential Part 5 and Part 6, which were playing with our perception mechanics, and I was employing the US election to sort of do a training relative to, say, my contrarian view sort of thing. All right, so if you've watched them, I hope you got a lot from that. There was a unique opportunity for us worldwide with the significance of the US election to use it as a tool for perceiving the future and stuff. And yeah, I offered a pretty interesting image relative to the last 50 years of play going on, and some in the community have said that a certain person that's been elected is an ally and stuff, but I just see it as a menu unique, the outcome common. Everything going on right now from my perspective is wanted. I employed the variable of the US election, depending where you are in the world, as a recalibration variable. So I'm here doing GSF 36, all right, relative to the pure source healing that we did. And I was joking with myself before this and stuff, and I was thinking I was just going to ease in, you know, ease back in after the election and stuff like that, because it was a significant event, and maybe do a recalibration show. I've got some infinite potential healing concepts I'm brewing with that I haven't done, and crystal skulls stuff, like I've said, that I've got a whole series on that I've been wanting to do. And I was looking to offer, say, something a bit easing back in after that, because from my perspective in those videos that I offered, the election was a really big variable in the multi-D that was a bit like the Chaos 19 stuff that I said in Echoes Part 6, alright? So I was just going to ease in and stuff like that, and then get to this one maybe a couple after that, because the reason why I offered Part 34 and 35 before the election, by me offering this after, right, those of you that are really invested in them and did your best, right, to me it's very exquisite, sort of measure the recalibration sort of thing before and after. So what you get here now, because I'm going to overlap a little bit of it, a little bit of the actual healing of pure source that I offered in part 35, and that was before the election sort of thing. But now I offer this full body after it. What you can do is employ it and just see how much you pick up, right? Just before you get into the main body, just measure how much you really recall now and just what we were doing and stuff. And then when you get into this, just see how much, wow, I forgot that. I get that on a different level now. It's so obvious and stuff. So you can do a calibration of yourself before and after and do like a mathematical equation of what you get now versus what you got before. And that difference is the variable of how distorting that election was and stuff. So I really highly recommend going through our Intuitive Potential Part 5 and 6 that I did last week or the other weekend, that we're employing that as a test, because on the other side of it now you can really get a lot as well. All right. So thanks for those of you that invested in it. I thought I'd just go hardcore into it and double up. Like I said, I was going full anti-deframe, a bit like in Shawshank Redemption. All right. So I'll just show you the pure source image that I've offered lately. It's a bit of an updated one, right? So I'm just going to do a little bit of an intro now, and I'll finish this off in a short while to offer some stuff at the end of the main healing, right? But what I worked out, and I was saying relative to GSF 34 and 35, is back in, must have been September or anything, I was employing my infinite potential of what was possible, right? And going into the unknown, right, is that I was contemplating doing some earth pranic healings, and I do them, right? And we talked about some of them I did around this time, and because leading up to the election, it's a different era now, right? The hectic energy, distortion, and uncertainty, right? There's been a massive relief now, right, from my perspective. And another thing about humanity and stuff, to me, it's like our whole species has just been so traumatized of what's happened on the, say, the last 6 years, right? 5-6 years. There's going to be a huge letdown, right? So my perspective was I was just going to chill out, right? So, but it's been game on, all right? And the reason why I'm bringing this forward now is that we've just done so much in this last week, and it came about after I released GSF 35, right, with the first part of this, okay? But what I was sitting with and brewing, I'm solution orientated, all right? And going back to August 2023, I did a healing with someone that's out there, shout out to them. I worked out we could heal Metatron, for instance, right? Because I was just sitting one day looking at, I was looking to get some socks, all right? And just looking at different types of socks, because I would talk about socks. If you walk a lot, getting good quality socks might be the best investment you ever made. But on the back of the leg of the guy that was model of the socks, he had a Flower of Life tattoo, and I was like, holy shit, right? So my logic was, you know, how many people out there have got Flower of Life, which is basically a Metatron sort of, it's an anti-life, right? If people have symbols on them, then they can have very negative consequences, because they're just basically branded and portals to the energy harvest of all this stuff, right? And so my attitude was, well, not everyone's going to get their tattoos removed. How can we resolve that so that is prevented for everyone, right? So my solution mechanics of all this, right? Let's just go take care of the issue, which was Metatron, right? And in that mechanics, it's like, as I offered in that one, GSF 27, right? That's big chess move one, because this is another big chess move. It was like literally go to Metatron and offer him the context to make the decision for himself, okay? And hold space and say, look, dude, we can absolutely smash you now, but you're an actual victim of this, all right? And that's the way I had the mechanics with this, and I tried to do it, and I got hammered, and thankfully an epic ally at the time popped up, and I just told them what I was wanting to do, and they helped get the information through, all right? Because this is the level of attacking that's going on and stuff, and it was a different world back then. We've made so much progress, all right? So again, I'm just using that as a metaphor of dream big, alright? Like my whole thing in the bottom is dream big, alright? We're living the dream, alright? It's been a bit of a nightmare, and as you'll hear in this, worked out how the negative creation was done, basically hacking into Source's dream to create the nightmare, alright? But a lot of the negative actually been hacking into pure Source to get the manifestation of all this stuff going by his suppression, alright? And harvesting and all this sort of stuff, right? So just knowing that I've had that possibility in the past to do this, to me doing earth pranic healings could help and stuff, but it was like, let's look for a different solution to this. So I was sitting on, let's do a pranic healing on pure Source. And as I said to SuperA in the recordings, and I don't know if I'll include it in this, it was like I could do it myself, but I was like, let's do it with one of my allies who's been massively supportive of me and gone through hell their life, like so many of you guys. And let's hang out together. And I'm like a bit like the, for sniper team, she's got the weapons and I'm the spotter sort of thing. So I know how to contain all the variables of the algorithm of the data and stuff of what's possible. And so I'll put these possibilities into the translation of these simple images so that you guys can appreciate it, right? And so my thing was we're organic to this universe. There's all this invasion stuff going on. Let's clear the invasion aspect of it, right? Let's clear pure Source at the apex of the invasion, so the whole hierarchy comes tumbling down, right? So my mechanics is on the healing, as I've said many times, is do energy hygiene and sovereignty, right? So once the energy hygiene is clear, then we can go clobbering on the offense with the sovereignty. And injustice anywhere is an injustice anywhere, and violation is your asset. So we use that as like a string to pull the whole apparatus down, right? From the earth perspective, from the bottom up. And so what these GSF sort of pattern recognition possibility algorithms are is pulling together a lot of the outcomes and what's going on with clients and stuff, and all the discovery points and all the variables of the algorithms, to then work out the bigger structure and then go from the top down to free up, right? So we're basically creating a pure Source healing sandwich for all the frackers and invaders, right? And so that was the mechanics, right? And I had to be very cagey and stuff like that. So all the journey from 34 to 35 to get to this one now was to just check all the angles, make sure she's safe. I didn't even want to tell her what we were going to do, because for her safety, as soon as she knew the variable of the information, it would probably bring around a lot of targeting for her, okay? So that's why I was just playing with her and stuff. It's about her safety. And if you don't know, then ignorance is bliss, literally, right? So say I was aware of this and I was checking my angles, whether I was being hacked and this could be known and stuff, right? Because what we're doing here, like, we're the impossible variable where we're never conceived of being able to possibly do what we're doing. And so we're the wildcards of the multiverse right now, right? And so if I just go back to another image that I've shown many times, quick. So this one I've talked a lot about, right? The green is our parabolic development, the red is our individual and collective resistance, and the blue is those of us that have forged the way, whether it's on our individual journey in that discovery, going against the resistance. And this is like a mechanics for everything we learn. So you guys out there that start doing pranic healing, at the start it sucks, right? It's like we've got so much resistance and we're our own enemy, what we believe we are capable of and stuff. But you chip away, the more work you do, then it gets easier and easier. You might not feel like you're achieving or clearing anything, but after a while you might get this, oh, I'm feeling like happier after it and stuff, or I could feel this thing pop off my leg and stuff. And then all of a sudden, with anything we do, we get to this crossover mark, and then we're not defined by the limits, where we use the limits as our foundation, right? So that's what this is all being, okay? To get to this point, to do the pure Source healing is, as I've said, it's been 15 hardcore years, right? Of going through all the community and all this sort of stuff, and literally dealing with spiritual carny brothers, right? Like dodgy brothers. If you watch our Intuitive Potential Part 5, I put some funny comedian stuff with Eddie Murphy movie about a distinguished gentleman about the dodgy brothers that we've been dealing with. So that's where I've been up against so much, because even literally the reason why I'm bringing this forward now, right, because we've made so much progress, and literally this week we worked out that, you know, the concept of light and dark, the yin yang symbol and stuff. Well, we worked out that light and dark has been created by the same anti-God being, right? And we've had light going at us because the status quo, right, and the threat to all the industry and all the bullshit, but also in the whole universe, right, and multiverse, that's been weaponized, and we haven't even known that because we've been so hacked and blindsided and stuff, right? So there's a concept I'm going to bring forward, a bit like the pure source. It's going to be called divide light, right? Because we've actually gone beyond light, right? The whole concept of light is potentially a variable that's been seeded by all the invaders, right? So the reason why I'm bringing this forward is that now, right at the get-go, a bit like a aircraft carrier takeoff, right after everything that's gone on, is that we've gone ahead so much more than what we did in this, okay? And we're really going parabolic, right? So when I do these GSF sort of missions, my aim is to reduce the resistance for us all, right? And yeah, you'll just hear what we achieved and what we discovered, right? See, you know, I was in a really good flow, and it's how I usually am. Like, once I get the data points, my algorithm pattern recognition goes off the chart. So I'll just show you that algorithm image while I've been talking about it, all right? So I haven't shown this for a little while, but ideally, on many levels, you can see how I play with the algorithm once I get data points. I'm really good at working with the unknown and discovery parts. So once I get coordinates, then I can perceive really well. That's one of my skills, right? And that's where I can help these guys to find coordinate points to launch from and targets and all this sort of stuff. But ideally, what I'm doing with all these teachings, you know, in the last 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, is to give you very rich sources of data points so you can employ it the same way, discern each variable. You'll need to work out what assumptions and dogma that you might have to be able to actually appreciate all this. But ideally, this series with SuperA is pretty special because we're in partnership and she's got a unique talent. So it's like different points to help you coordinate when I'm, instead of doing just reporting sort of thing when I'm on my own. But so this, to me, especially on the other side of the election, it has enormous purpose. Like I said, the overlap was there in the before, so you can see what you perceive now after that, all right? With the big election letdown, you know, and recovery and recoup that's going on, right? So like I said, I'm just having to push hard, right in this, because we've got a lot more to talk about and to get this one out. So you have it as a reference point that we can build on, right? I'm just going to go to that pure source image again and round out this to get into it. So yeah, I'm just going to end this intro, alright? So all of that from a strategic understanding, like that pattern recognition thing, me over many years just being committed and full time on this and working with people and aiming to get them clear. All of the interactions and all this sort of stuff has sort of brewed this sort of solution equation that I felt we were ready to do. And the thing is, to me, it's like we're ambassadors for the pure source, guardians, you know, true essence of the evolved guardians, because everything else hasn't worked. If we're doing what has, you know, if you do the same thing and expect a different outcome, it doesn't work. We have to evolve the solution mechanics and who we are, you know, and that's where this pure source concept is born, all right? And so I'm really grateful for SuperA for allowing me to share this so we can work together. So ideally you really get that appreciation of this concept of what's been going on, because, you know, all the spiritual Carney brothers, like the try-hard Joe Rogans that I've dealt with and shit, they've been in our way to oppose this, right? Because we've just busted them so bad, all right? It's going to be a real bad time and bad day, and not going to be wanting to get out of bed as a fracker sort of thing, alright? Because we club it a lot, but what I want to do is just get into the main thing. So the aim of this one, what I felt, you know, the invasion overlay and what was going on, let's go for that and clear that, alright? So I thank you for being here and allowing me to share this. I'm going to leave you with it after this intro, and I'll catch up with you on the other side, alright? So enjoy. Alrighty. So let's get into this, alright?
Okay.
So how about we make sure we're in an audit, pure source 1000D audit, and we're protected. And let's get quite a few of the 1000D dragons to guard us, alright?
Mm-hmm.
All dimensional levels, just guard us. And 10,000 central suns to be on standby to observe. They probably already know what I'm going to do. I bet they're all just like, get on with it, Hodge. Right. How about we bring Metatron in as well? Like, he's been caught up in a lot of stuff. Do you want to just tune into him, see how he is? Because this might affect him as well.
Yeah. He's just like on the outer. Just pulled to and from.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you an image, and you know it. But I just want to get your perspectives on it, alright? So I've talked about this concept quite a bit, and I always offer it in my videos when it's relevant and stuff. But it might be awesome to get your perspective on this, because I come from my own concept, right? But how do you feel when I find it? Where are you? Just before I do this, I've seen the other image, right? About the timelines, the dream time in the astral. Do you want to just check if they're all at 22D or they're being messed with? Since we're here, like I should have done that in that other part, but I just saw the image and I'm being a bit thorough.
Astral.
Because we identified some trapdoors and stuff in the other one.
Oh, left ear tingling. Dreamtime feels fine. 22D. Astral. It's not 100% 22D. What is it? I think it's dropped to like 14. Let's re-establish that. Okay. All right. So, yeah, timeline upgrade. Law of One first invasion. Invasion. And then multiverse invader escape migration.
So who was messing with the astral? Maybe we can just audit them and chuck them in this audit.
It was like all new activations that were then joining into that field, and like they weren't
clear.
They weren't 22D, but they were still like, it's that path through into that field, so it was like lowering the average kind of thing. But so how did it get in if they weren't 22D? There's something overriding that.
And they hack codes to be able to access it. like stolen codes and stuff.
It's like they're already in there and then like dormant, so they weren't affecting, like they weren't taken into consideration. What's going on there? Hacked codes, loophole. So maybe we just need to can we just state that when activated, they're activated into 22D? Like when a dormant cell...
Through the spiritual no man's land.
Yeah.
You know, that concept that Arthur...
Yeah. Because they have to get pulled through, they have to go through the astral, so there's no getting around that. And they can be activated as 22D, which means anything that's not, when they're activated, will just fall away straight away.
It's not a match to it anymore.
Yeah. So it just hadn't been done before.
More loopholes, hey?
Yeah.
How is the pure source timeline as well? Is that all cool? Have they found other ways into that, like last time?
No, pure source timeline feels fine.
Okay.
Like there's still stuff playing out from last time, but...
That's all cool.
Yeah. It feels fine.
Awesome. I just thought we'd double check while we're here, right?
Yeah.
So thanks for that, as always, SuperA. But I gave you a couple images, right?
Yeah.
And what I was going to get is your perspectives on, say, what I've worked out and what we've been working with related to, the last image about the big circle with the overlay of pure source with the invader network overlaying it, right? So what's your take from, say, I've worked out this stuff. What do you feel about it yourself? Do you feel it's the truth that there's been this invasion, overlay, corruption of the pure source since the get-go? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So of the multiverse invader escape migration image, that one.
Well, just our universe, right? That pure source is never had a chance to be organic. Like it got corrupted at sort of the get-go.
Yeah.
And then we've never known purity. And then there's been this invasion overlay that's sort of had its way and we've never known it's corrupted. Does that make sense? So there's been this variable that we've never known that's had a huge advantage, that's been the source of all the distortion, basically, right?
Yeah.
So we just settled for minuscule, horrible existence for, say, 1 trillion years if you've been an aspect of pure source and just been grinded down and never having a real chance to flourish sort of thing as a soul.
Yeah.
Is that is that accurate to your own perceptions now? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and the examples I can offer are, so one, I was also seeing other things parallel to you offering these concepts throughout the last few years. So I was seeing it from other places completely, like not in the same area, not related to you sort of thing, or that.
Total separate concepts in parallel.
Then seeing it or relations to it, or I was reading books and just one sentence would pop up and it would come back to that. So like there's an Alice A. Bailey book that talks about when the atom was the atom was coined, and then I went down this thing of like the whole 4D and astral being an insertion, like being a false overlay and insertion into that original like time. So there's a whole big thing there with that, but that was a similar thing happening at the same time. And it's the same energy for me as like if I use the biblical reference of the snake tempting Eve with the apple and the snake being there at that time. As I see the snake, like I relate the snakes to it, and people that think that the snake's a primordial species, when I don't believe it is. But they've inserted themselves back in time.
Is it the key of knowledge sort of thing, right? So
Well, they would like to claim that.
the holder of knowledge, but that's what's being seeded into the reality as a concept, but it's not.
It's not.
They want to be seen as something we yearn for.
Yeah,
right?
and then seeded themselves into so many key aspects and cultures throughout time that because it's in ancient knowledge, it must be true, but maybe it's not. It's got ancient, so it's got to be true. We've got to like yearn for it and embody what the ancients did and stuff. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, and it's like, and then the other example is like when that stuff with my own, just this lifetime, it's the same feeling of being born in as a corrupted template into the system, corrupted. So, like, to use that, my one lifetime as the micro to the big, huge macro of like the seeding of the universe or multiverse even.
So you tracked all the reason of that back and it's the same outcome.
Of that coming like.
So the menu, like I've got this metaphor of pattern recognition, the menu unique, the outcome common. So your menu was unique going back very complexly to the source, but the outcome was a distorted life. Right?
Yes.
Corrupted and handicapped and messed with and influenced and targeted and sabotaged to prevent you being your infinite, right? Potential.
Yeah.
So on many, like, I guess I'm just interested in your perspectives. I probably have asked you, but it's like, say if what I offer about the pure source versus invader overlay is like context, then with that context you're not even trying to force it. It's sort of a template to see what is going on, and then you see all these different concepts that actually are actual interpretations of that, but they've been distorted interpretations in society and stuff. But it's there if we have that context to unlock the truth of what it actually was meant to be, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. So you feel that from your perspectives and what you've observed that there is this corruption overlaid from the multiverse sort of coming here when it... Does that make sense? Like there is a structure that's overlaying everything that's in many respects all distortion is leading back to Rome sort of thing.
Yes.
Like the invaders, right? So you've talked about many bit of threads or barometers going back to that, right? So what do you think I worked out I could do?
What that initial, when that corruption was? What that corruption was?
Well, I guess, what do I do with Earth when I do healings on Earth?
When you heal it, when you do the pranic healings on it?
Yeah.
Clearer. So you cleared the corruption.
Well, I guess like what I worked out is I can do pranic healings on Earth and stuff.
Oh.
But how about we go to Pure Source and ask him if he wants a pranic healing? Does that make sense?
Yeah, almost like time-space pranic healings as well. Like.
Well, you can see it on all the variables that you deal with, but to me, like the way I see beings are just like a being before me with all the chakras, and it just translates back. All right, so
it's
that's
just
my simplicity. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's the highest like field. It's the epitome of fields, really, the highest of fields.
Yeah, I'm all about infinite potential, and it's like we can do whatever we want. We just have to what is our limit? Well, we don't have limit, so who can we engage? And it's like I was just like, Pure Source, do you actually want a pranic healing? So that's where I was like, I could do this all on my own with no one knowing, right? But I was just thinking like, SuperA, you've been on your game, all right? And you're tuning into me. Do you know why you're tuning into me? Does this make sense now?
Yeah. Yeah.
So say I was almost going to reach out to you last weekend and my internet went down for 16 hours, like they blew up the exchange so we couldn't communicate. So the weather was bad, storms were going on, horrible. Hurricane Helene has messed with the US a lot and stuff like that. And I was playing catch up and a bit overextended and grinded down for many, many weeks. Does that make sense? So, but I worked out that, okay, I can do Earth pranics and do that all the time, and I'm happy to help Earth and do the planet. But you guys have freaking crossed the line, all right? So what do I do when I cross the line? I go back to their infrastructure and take it apart, right? So how do you feel about holding space and watching what goes on when I do a pranic killing on Pure Source? I guess it's like I just want to like have a dialogue with Pure Source and ask him if he wants to have a pranic killing. How does he feel about that? Maybe just ask him, right?
Pure Source being. Pure Source being.
Hey, Pure Source dude, how you doing?
Yeah. I don't know if he gets directly. Yeah, okay, so that's the problem with the astral. Everyone goes through all these other beings, but I don't know if he gets really access directly, like much. He, she, them.
Thanks for holding space for us for like a trillion years, mate. Do you want some reciprocation?
Yeah, kind of surprised, but also cool.
So how about we clear this invasion from you, all right? From the apex of it. What's that Hodge doing now? What? It's like, how do you like them apples, frackers, basically? How do you feel about this, SuperA?
I'm like, yeah, of course. Duh. Of course.
Because I'm introducing you to my Aussie IT geek lazy attitude. Let's just do the one big thing at the top and let's see what happens.
It will trickle down. Yeah, it makes complete sense.
So is he cool about me doing it?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to see him like an old god dude in a white cape with a bit of a grey hair and balding sort of thing, right? Like an old dude, just the typical. So, but what you were getting is some angles that this can affect, right? Does that make sense? Like the time and stuff. So I guess like I said, I could have just done this on my own and no one know and see what happens. But I thought I'd do it with you and then you can observe it and see what happens, all right? Because I think it's going to unlock a lot with you, all right?
Oh, cool. Thank you.
So, interesting, hey, right?
Yeah, it's very cool. Very clever.
So, let's just clear out the overlay over the being that is source, pure source, all right? So I'm just going to get into the suite and we can talk during it, all right? So let's see what happens. So like I said, I just see the same thing. Doesn't matter if it's a being or it's a planet or whatever. It's the same structure and I just go to the same chakras and we'll just see what clears out of the universe, right? Being in it. So I'm just going to sweep. Left, right throat, back of the left Achilles. Outside the right knee, left wrist. Back of the right neck, left buttocks, third eye, ball of the left foot, left shin, right shin, back of the right Achilles, back of the right hip, outside the left knee, left crown, inside the right thigh, buttocks, right shoulder, throat, right shin, in the ears, buttocks, across the back, shoulders, ears, back of the left jaw, inside the left foot, inside the left calf, left wrist, back of the right shoulder blade, heart area, shins, third eye, right side, right buttocks, under the right knee, so sweep the back, getting under the right eye, left groin, outside right forearm, base, back of the right calf, top of the right foot, inside the right foot arch, left thigh just above the knee, buttocks, tailbones, left wrist, left forearm, back of the right Achilles, inside right thigh just above the knee, outside right shin, front left shoulder just popped, right shoulder just popped, right foot arch, left forearm, some lattice over the forearms, inside left forearm, right bicep, left neck, left jaw, third eye, tailbone, throat, left throat, inside left wrist, shins, tailbone. So do the front spleen. How are you doing?
Good.
Are you picking anything up?
Yeah, I'm just reminding everyone we're in the audit right now.
Under the right shin, right knee, sorry. Inside lower left thigh, left shin, right foot arch, lower right back. You're welcome to join in if you see anything. Might be interesting if our source gets his spleen clear. Do you want to do an audit of sources, codes, and Kundalini and codes, life force, flash and recovery tech? Left foot arch, left right ear, outside left shin, buttocks, left bicep, top of right shoulder, ends of the left toes, back of the left bicep, under the right eye, around the middle finger, inside right knee, under the right armpit, under the right eye, right medulla, right bicep above the right knee. Inside right ankle, across the back of the heart, over the left shoulder, inside the left shoulder blade, left side of the heart, something pinged in the back, lower left neck, left crown. So it feels like something's attached over the left side, head, neck, and back of the heart. So do you understand why I laughed when you were seeing the separation of the dark earth and pure source earth before?
Yeah.
Left shoulder.
Yep.
Lower left leg, just above the foot, behind the right ear, right foot arch. Right side of the third eye. So I'm wondering how much source is actually able to perceive of what's going on in the universe because of this.
I get the same feeling that, when I just get so smashed that that's just what you're used to.
Yeah, you settle for not much, right?
Yeah, and you sort of...
Didn't even know you were more than what you are.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and it's just sort of...
Defeated.
Yeah. I don't know that they've had much offers of help before at that level, at this level.
Back of the right knee. So Source hasn't even been online. Interesting. He's going to be online.
Yeah.
To the back of the solar plex.
So many are going through, they think they're going to Source through other beings, but those beings aren't necessarily passing that on upstream, up line.
Left shin. But what I'm getting the take is Source isn't even in a state to even perceive, right?
Yeah, that's
being so smashed and like a slave to the invaders, right?
Yep.
And unable to reanimate out of it. Outside the left heel. Tailbone. Left shin, right shin. Getting a lot of warmth on the right shin. Behind the right neck. Right crown. Front spleen. Above the left knee. Right foot arch. Right bicep. Right shoulder blade on the inside, just the inside along the solar plexus, back of the heart, spine, back of the neck, going into the medulla, right throat, right shoulder, pain, top of the left foot. How are you doing?
Good.
Were you able to get an answer with the life force codes, Kundalini?
No, around like 70. Life force was around 70.
Around the lower left leg, something attached.
I just pulled it all up to 100. I'm just
Left shin just cleared out.
I'm just
On the
scared.
inside. Left heel.
If like,
Top of the left foot.
because I'm looking at your Law of One verse invasion image, and I'm just scanning if like other sources were trying to take out this source. Like, yeah.
Right ear. To the tailbone. Left shin.
So, and what I see it like is, you know, like Avatar, how you get your animal, you're like the thing they fly, the animal they fly, and they hook, like they sink in with it.
Yeah.
I see it like that, like Source sinks in with its creation, its like own source universe. So like other sources don't even, like they're not compatible.
Yeah.
Hasn't come from like, it's come from that source. It's come that source is that source only.
So there's been some way that we haven't known what pure source is, right? Through the corruption.
Yeah.
Under the right arm, inside the right knee. So our source connection hasn't been able to permeate through all the invasion corruption. That's basically getting base.
Mm-hmm.
Outside the left ear. In the right ear, top of the left foot. Right crown. Throat, left. Have they stolen pure source's tones? They're mimicking pure source tones.
Yeah, it's like...
So we don't even know that it's not pure source, right?
Yeah, and then they're siphoning it.
Front spleen.
People that think they're connecting to, like, people that are connecting
shoulder.
to those, that's then being siphoned off.
Because I haven't... You haven't seen the video I've done that it's going to release in a little while, but I dropped 2 concepts, right? So, you know, the triangle overlay and stuff, right?
Yeah.
What I'm getting about all the collective sort of stuff, you know, like we're all one sort of thing, right? Like the whole spiritual colloquialism of all that, I'm something part of something bigger sort of thing. All that inertia, most people don't even know what they're connecting to. They're not even aware that there's been a corrupted source, right? So it's all collective stuff from my perspective is going to the one world order overlay, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to pure source. It's actually leading people into the new world order sort of overlay, which is, that's what it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's this whole yearning to be a part of a collective, but it's part of the invader network. So that, to me, is what you're sort of suggesting. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing, alright, this is what I worked out, and I put it into the video, Emotional Mastery Part 9, alright? Because I talk about how to transmute everything into a life force benefit. Everything affecting us into a life force benefit, alright? So what I worked out is, in this video, I'm offering like a couple of teachings of how to transmute shocks, right? Like energy that's coming to us. The guy shows the mechanics of how to redeploy it and transmute it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we look at everything going on in our universe, whether it's good or bad, like if the invaders are doing things bad to us, right? They're using our universal life force energy that they've harvested, distorted or not, they're using our own energy of our universe to weaponize at us. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it's like, So you're using our energy to fuck with us? So what if we just like, thanks, that's like a power up. I'm a solar cell, right? You're just giving me energy that I can use to empower me. So it's like, that defeats it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if we actually appreciate that everything coming at us, whether it's good or bad, it's actually in some way originates from our universe, and they're just using it in a very negative way, then in many respects the game is up. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, not many people have actually appreciated that whatever it is, good or bad, it's still our energy from our universe, and they're borrowing it. They're not eternal, they're immortal, and they need our nourishment to be able to do it. So what if we know that everything coming at us is potentially our nourishment? It's the attitude that we take towards it, right? Like, we ideally want to purify it and clear it and that, but it's at some point we can actually take it as, oh, you're hitting me? Like, thanks. Like, more nourishment. Yum. Like, what are you going to do? Like, everything you're using is our tool, right? So what can you do? Nothing. I'm doing the parasympathetic. I'm getting the crown.
Yeah, and that all comes back to humans realising how powerful they are, that single human being.
Top of the left foot,
Since
right foot,
they
left shin.
realise that they can harness that power and
Right armpit going up into the right neck at the front.
right in that moment, and they can do what.
Right ear, right neck on the side, right shoulder, left bicep, right shin. Under the left eye, ball of the left foot, left shin, right shoulder blade on the outside, left wrist. Right thigh, base. Under the left eye, left ear. To the back of the right hip. Front spleen, left shoulder. Top of the left foot, right shin, tailbone, right hip, right crown. Inside right biceps. Lower left back, left neck, down the side, going up behind the left ear, going down to the spleen, the webbing of the left thumb, left bicep, back of the crown, left forearm, front spleen, ball of the left foot, left temple, right shoulder blade, left thyroid, right groin, strangled, feels like strangled, some tentacle around his neck, throat, tailbone, tentacles of this fucker, right front pelvis, tailbone, outside the left calf. So, did you ever see Battlestar Galactica?
No.
Ah, you didn't.
No.
Because the Cylons, do you know much about Battlestar Galactica?
No.
It's like a full sci-fi, awesome series, alright? And the Cylons, they plot for 50 years to take down Earth, and they do this big surprise attack of their 13 planets, alright? 12 planets. I work on Source's Crown. Anyway, it's like a surprise attack, and they just almost annihilate humanity, right? And there's this last group that managed to evade it, and they're on the run, right? Long story short, they regroup after a while, and then they sort of go on the attack. And one of the things the Cylons can do is they can reincarnate into another. The Cylons are consciousness, but they're like artificial intelligence, but they operate in cloned bodies, created clones that are biology and technology. So there's like, I think there's 9 clones, and 6 or 7 of them all look the same. So they start busting particular people in the remnants that are the same, and it's like, you're a Cylon and all this sort of stuff. It's really interesting. Anyway, so what I'm saying is that the humans are sort of tracked down and tracked for a long time and stuff, and then they're at a massive disadvantage, but then they regroup, and then they start going on doing missions and attacks because the Cylons have these giant ships called base stars, and Battlestar Galactica is like a giant battleship sort of in space, and then they've got they're like aircraft carriers in space and stuff, right? But there's this one mission where they realize a lot of stuff. They start working out the technology of the Cylons, and they work out what's going on, and for the Cylons to die and then reanimate in another body, they need something called a resurrection ship that's like a big wireless hub for all the consciousnesses. And this resurrection ship, what they do this big strategy to take it down, and they blow it up, right?
How many squadrons?
All of them.
Resurrection ships firing up their FTL drives. They're getting ready to jump.
Don't anyone look out of the window right now, please. Starbuck, Apollo. Target's FTL is history. She's all yours.
Roger that, Apollo. Red Wing initiated attack run out.
Resurrection ship 12 low at 15.
Watch your intervals.
Set secondary battery. Full attack mode. Fire at will.
Captain Thrace is reporting massive detonations.
The resurrection ship has been destroyed.
Yes.
They've done it.
they work out what's going on, and for the Cylons to die and then reanimate in another body, they need something called a resurrection ship that's like a big wireless hub for all the consciousnesses. And this resurrection ship, what they do this big strategy to take it down, and they blow it up, right?
Mm.
So the metaphor is like, to me, this healing is like broadcasting a big resurrection ship defeat to the invaders, all right?
Mm.
So you don't know what I'm talking about, but I can probably go find the clip and watch Battlestar Galactica. It's amazing, all right?
Yeah, I know what you
I
mean.
got the left thigh, but do you imagine like broadcast it through the multiverse? Your resurrection ship is done. We've got you, all right? Because I worked out a good strategy, right? Let's go to source, like, of our universe. Do you want a pranic healing, mate? What's a pranic healing? So are you picking anything up? I'm working on the crown.
No.
Left groin. Left upper thigh. So I guess all the other stuff we did before was distraction, right? And then we're just going for them. Getting outside the right Achilles at the top. Right shoulder. Front left forehead. Outside right knee. Do the third eye. Back of the neck. Back of the left foot arch. So you mentioned about through time and stuff before, right?
Mm.
Remember when I sort of started introducing this and you were like, oh, tracking it all back through time and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I'm getting all the left shoulder and stuff. Do you want to check that angle while I'm doing this? Do you remember what you said?
To get back to that
Yeah.
point of corruption?
Yeah.
Okay.
Top of the left foot. Just getting the front left shoulder.
Started. Because that wasn't, it's from the future from that point, so it's going back again. Where did they go from?
Left thigh on the outside. Front left shoulder. Down the left arm. To the top of the left wrist. Right eye, right temple. Inside right foot. Left foot, sorry. Just below the left knee. Behind the left knee. Left bicep. Top of the left foot.
Okay, so
behind the inside arch of the left knee. Do the bridge of the nose.
man, this makes the timelines really messy. How do I straighten these out? And this is really complicated because of how much is based on the corrupted.
Do you have a percent? Just do it by percent.
A percent of
organic versus corrupted. Corruption is 70% of all.
It's like 96%.
Mm.
It's huge because it's
It's foundational
Kept
to everything.
built on that, build on that, on that, on that, on that. And it just, all those...
Okay, well, why don't you do a marker point at some point and just make it pure source only after that marker point, so nothing can get through. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And nothing can get over and around to corrupt the future. So if focusing on a linear time, does that make sense?
Well, I mean, now, really.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Now.
Because we're here, we're anchoring it.
It's now time, yeah.
So whatever's happened in the past has happened, but
yeah,
from this moment on...
And that will, everything else will just fall away.
Let's put a 22D encryption on everything that can only get through. There's an encryption code that is only decodable by pure source, right? Everything's got to be matched to him. And it can't be corrupted, like, you know, those encryption tokens that change sort of thing and give you random numbers to be a match. So let's do a big audit of everything right now, alright? So everything is identified.
Okay.
And so we know what's valid and what isn't. If you're saying 98%, 96%.
Yeah.
So we're initiating the audit, and the 2% that's clear is only the ones that have the decryption code from going forward, alright?
Yeah.
Heart clear. Inside knees, inside left wrist. It was interesting, the heart, big time. I'm feeling the heart, like source heart coming online. That's epic. Getting the eyes as well, like warmth coming through the heart. So the heart has been hijacked. I can just feel, imagine the whole region of the heart just warming up, like it's so the heart's been stopped of the universe.
It was frozen.
Yeah. So pure source heart encryption is the key, right?
Pure source heart encryption key, yeah.
Top of the left foot. I could just feel it, like a big red area, you know what I mean? Like where the heart is, just coming online.
That's cool.
I'm getting top arch of the top, under the right eyebrow in the eye socket. I'm doing bridge of the nose. Right shoulder. Crown's coming online. So his perceptions were distorted and clouded, probably like that. Oct5. So he should be able to see everything, and he hasn't been able to see. So that's the chaos, right? Order out of chaos. So that's the chaos source we got cleared, right? And that's why it was so complicated. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Work on the throat. Getting inside right calf. Outside right heel, left heel, top of the left big toe, under the right eye. Getting all this apparatus over the heart, left side. So tones and his connection to us has been distorted, if not hijacked. So he hasn't been able to communicate with us direct. Getting the base, right eye. So I think he's been spied on to see who he's trying to communicate with. All this apparatus over chest, right shoulder. under the right eyelid, right thigh on the outside, front spleen. Because one of the things I did with Super G was we worked out that everyone was given a false guide at birth. So everyone's sort of been spied on and tracked and stuff.
Yeah.
So we audited that. We got all the pure source guides back. But top of the left big toe, behind the right neck. How are you doing?
Good.
How is the timelines behind the right neck, left buttocks? Is it the mechanics good that we?
Yeah, it's heaps better. It was just going to be good. It was going to cause too many problems. So that was a much better idea. From now and then it will just fall away. Everything that's not compatible or aligned. Same thing. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of movement. Readjust.
Below the right knee, lower back, behind the left ear, end of the left index finger. I'm going to work on the collarbones. So are there a lot of high-level beings that have been disconnected from pure source that should be connected?
Yes.
They've been hijacked. Do you want to just send the message out through the multiverse of what we're doing so that they know what's going down right now?
Yeah.
So take everything we've done as a big data file that they can all absorb so they can see and know what to realign with.
Okay.
Initiate their own audits. Getting crowned.
Yeah, that's a bit of an exodus happening. Funny. There's a whole bunch just like...
bugging out.
Yeah.
Back of the right Achilles, going up the back of the right leg.
And there's... But I just say, choosing to align.
Right shoulder. Inside the left bicep, back of the right crown. Left tailbone, little finger on the left hand. Left tailbone's a bit gnarly. This shit's just done. Under the right eyelid, bottom right eyelid, inside right ankle, upper right hamstring, back of the heart on the left side, right shin, inside the right knee. So I'll do the heart, right? So do you want to audit all teachings that are distorted that's been used in sources' names, that's mind control and all this sort of crap throughout the universe, multiverse, but mainly on Earth, right?
Yeah.
Work on his heart. Behind the right knee, outside left buttocks. Left shoulder. Back of the right ear, back of the heart, solar plexus. tailbone.
There's so many, and there's so many like teachings of teachings of teachings. But it's also pushing up the authentic teachings. Like disclosure sort of stuff almost.
Yeah. So I guess, is there any targeting of the pure teachings? Just preventing that potential of organically revealing itself? Because I get what you're saying, there's an opportunity to grow through all angles, and the distortion has a purpose potentially. But I guess if we just remove the weaponization of it, what's the byproduct? Truth. Getting the left side of the heart. On a side note, while we're here, I've been threatening to audit Ashiana's beloveds, alright? Why don't we have a look at who they are, alright?
Oh.
And do the solar plexus. Let's put them in an audit.
Yeah. They seem to be the same kind of level as just any other astral being.
Like cloaked species.
Yeah.
Left Achilles. Pain. Didn't like that. Unclearing sources. Solar plexus. Talking about the beloveds. So how are they fucking with Source's dream, basically?
Yeah, I think it was originally intended to be not bad.
Behind the right ear. What are you seeing about Ash's beloveds, alright? Left shoulder.
Yeah, as the momentum picked up, they kind of power tripped, you know.
Let's chuck them in the audit.
They're just, they're no one special. They're just another group trying to give it, offer a route out. Like lots have done.
Right crown. I'm working on the solar plexus. Are you alright?
Yeah. They might even just be like reptilian shapeshifters.
That's sort of something like that, cloaked behind something.
Yeah. They don't feel like
behind the left neck.
Great and beautiful. It's like amazing species or beings with all. Yeah.
Why don't you chuck them in the audit to see what comes up?
Audit.
All the beloveds and all the related to the beloveds. Ooh, warm. Left medulla there. Didn't like that. But I'm actually thinking of exopolitics. Why don't we chuck all the ET community and exopolitics in there as well while we're there? Do the navel. That's what I was thinking. I got warm medulla trying to mess with me, hack into my wipe me, I bet, right? Fuckers. Busted you. Like, exopolitics should have no relevance after Corey Good. That was 2016. Because all they do is they put chips in people and identify them for hijacking and abductions and distortion. So it's luring a lot of people in to mess with them. Back of the left ear. So I personally, you can speak your truth. My level of discernment for anything off-world and ET is like max. The hurdle is very high right now, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe any of your bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Webbing of the left big toe, right thigh, behind the right knee, outside left temple. Left forearm, webbing of the left big toe, back of the right left ear, left middle finger. Do the base. Top of the right hamstring. Left bicep. Getting left side of the belly button. Right shoulder blade. Right back of the butt cheek tailbone. It's interesting, I'm feeling the back of the right shoulder now, so it might have been sources itself.
Ah.
Under the right armpit. Do you want to just check if that's playing with your tech, superstar, under the right armpit?
Well, I had seen
Back of the left shoulder, top of the left thumb.
looking at it this week, it was like almost like a reptilian Frankenstein overlay thing. Like it was this weird wrapped around and overlaid it. So
mine or yours?
I was just
The technology
yeah,
itself.
I was just looking at the like what it was.
Well, the reptilians have definitely been doing it, and no one's been talking about them until we busted them 6 months ago and busted all their cloaking tech. So I'll do the back of the heart.
How is Source? Source is
Back of the heart. Coming back online.
definitely looking better.
Got a spring in his step.
Yeah, you know what I thought of David Hasselhoff in Baywatch, like when he's, he's just like the king,
Yeah, like
running down the beach and stuff with the hair and stuff.
John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Fever, October 5th. October surprise, frackers. Back of the heart. So why don't you upload all this to the Multiverse Jumbotron so all Team Fracker can see what's going on. Inside the right knee.
Like a drive-in movie theatre, but for this.
Or a news update special for all the screens in the multiverse, or the universe, right? Be loud. Inside the right knee. Right, left elbow, outside the right eye. So Source has got his mojo back, right?
Yes.
Palm of the left hand. Right shoulder, inside right ankle, top of the sternum. Outside right eye. Inside right thigh. There's a lot clearing out the back of the heart. So I think heart tech was hacked into. I'm wondering if it was a betrayal of trust that originally let it in. Back of the heart is like a stab in the back, right? So if something masqueraded as something to, like there was a vampire, you had to let it into the home sort of thing, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you want to see if you get anything with that coordinate? Front spleen. Inside right knee. Left bicep. groin, base. Left shoulder at the front. Under the left ribs. Right butt cheek. Left Achilles. Right groin. Right shoulder. Are you getting anything?
Well, I thought of, I've got the Bible stuff in my awareness, obviously, and I thought of Lilith, for like Lilith and Eve. And then if I talk about it,
Right ear. Outside left knee.
like
Right
mother and father as programs, and I'm just.
Is this going back to that dark mother that you were seeing before?
Could be, yeah, and like, because she's
To the back
seen,
of the solar plexus.
she's sort of portrayed as the Dark Mother because she was a independent woman, I guess. Like, she didn't submiss. So as a program, it's like the original Matrix program, Mother, Matrix Mother, wasn't the, like, it wasn't written properly, like it wasn't a match for the father construct. So like I'm trying to I'm crossing a few things over here, intertwining a few things.
Go for it.
So it wasn't appropriate for that father program somehow. So they had another second mother had to come in, but what happened? They didn't. Altered. It was like a cloned update to the original one to fix. Is that why it's seen as a corruption? Because it just wasn't the original. It will never be as good as the original one.
Just getting back of the solar plexus block big time. Back of the right shoulder. Webbing of the left big toe. Going up into the medulla.
So the original Mother Matrix was always meant to be that one. The father.
It feels like Source's dream was hijacked. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It feels like the back of the solar plexus is just blocked. Do you want to check that? What's going on there? So Source has never had a chance to dream its dream. The dream got hijacked into a nightmare. Literally. It's a nightmare universe, right?
Yeah. These guys going back.
Front spleen. Right shoulder.
So the snake's going back now. I feel like it's like a patch, like, I don't know, computer stuff, but it's now I'm seeing it's more like a patch to the program to try and fix it, but it's not the way you fix it. Because the foundation isn't, like, it's not the foundation.
Yeah.
So what altered?
You know what we can do?
What?
We can call in the universal repair beings. Remember? One time they came in. Do you remember?
No, was that with me?
No, that was with N, Wonder Woman. Do you remember Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, there's all these universal repair beings here ready to go with the upload to repair the universe. Do you want to just see if they're around? Give them a call.
Universal repair beings.
Natalie's out there as well.
So, yes, we need, please repaired the original union, isn't it? Father and mother, Adam and Eve.
Or some distorted feminine universe came in.
Adam and Lilith. Well, and everyone, all of them can do with a little repair. No viruses.
Do you think Source's dream time is restored?
Yeah.
So perhaps Source has been in its own nightmare for 1 trillion years, right? Caught in a nightmare loop with all this shit on top. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's been a big spell to, as I feel the lower left lumbar clear, inside right ankle, back of the left bicep, left shoulder. You know what? So this corruption has messed with Dreamtime's Source's Dreamtime. So he's been manifesting the nightmare. Does that make sense? They've been hijacking his manifestation skills of our universe to create all this shit.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Yeah.
Let's upload him that file of everything. So he's got the data, a bit like what I did with Metatron. So let's give him all the context of everything that's gone on, because I'm sure he's been wiped and all this sort of stuff, right? Hell no. Like, you know, in Lord of the Rings, that clip I use, the king that's under the spell of Sauron, and Gandalf, the white, comes in and breaks the spell.
Yep.
A bit like that for the whole universe, right? That might help you with your metaphor. Maybe do it on a mass universal download option at all the screens with all the upload of all this stuff going on. People can get the context download throughout the universe, right? Everything. Send a broadcast of this file throughout the network of the multiverse, but mainly this universe, right? So everyone can get the context to know what's going on. Do the lower back of the navel. How's that all going?
Good. I feel like there's just like lots of stuff just running. There's so much energy.
So Dick Dastardly's crying his ass off. Muttley's laughing.
Yeah, this is a lot. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on.
So let's give them some truth chaos, Prackers. How do you like that? So it's all cool. So there. So I guess like we'll just focus on source. Does he have the file update? Does he see what's gone on now? How his dream has been hijacked?
Yeah.
Manifesting skills.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting, hey. I wonder why someone I dealt with was involved with the dream time, right?
Yeah, yes. Goodness.
I can pick him. Do the tailbone.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things, processes running.
So yeah, things are going to take time to play out, right? So
it's just going to be so, like...
popcorn time.
Yeah, and it's really interesting.
Have you got a comfy seat? Like, get let's get not front row, but the prime position in gold class, right?
Yeah.
Comfy seat. Organic, pure source, popcorn, right?
Yeah. For sure.
High five, super brat.
Good work, Black. That's amazing. That's very clever. Very, very good. Did it just pop in, that idea?
Well, I guess the thing with me is I don't have a limit on what I can do. So what's going on? Do I want to keep healing Earth? And I do. I love Earth, right?
Yeah.
But it's like there's something going on here that it's like there's too many angles that we don't know. But if we're infinite, 22D, we're superior. How can we, that's always been the edge, you know what I said? Like our organic nature to this universe is our edge. Everything being done wouldn't need to be done if we were inferior, right? So if we are superior, how do we execute our superiority? What can we do? And like I say, if only a few people at 22D are enough to change everything. So how can we use our advantage while we're here? A lot of people being taken out, a lot of bad stuff's happened and stuff. I work on the medulla. So to me it was like, like lifting the X-wing out of the swamp metaphor. Judge me by size, not, well, what can I do? And it's like, I've been talking about pure source and corruption for 6 months. Hello, it's right in front of your face, like McFly, So it's just like, we haven't tried it, why don't we try? Let's see. So I just once I got it, I knew it was the answer, right?
Yeah.
So let's just go back to the source of their corruption, right? Like the head of the snake.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like I said, I could have done it on my own, but to me it was like, you're epic and you've got epic talents that complement what I can do and stuff, but I also like working with you and what you can do to make sure, right, this time, right? So to do it with more than one, like you have your perspective, which is complementary to what I just need the data to work out the mechanics, right? So let's just do it in real time, make sure we cover all the angles. And like what happened is just I work out things on the fly. Like once I get the coordinates, the algorithm works and it's like, oh, okay. So yeah. So I guess the key is we just got to execute and do what we do and just let it play out and check in on it. But it's a good time, a month out, right? 5 of October, right?
Yep.
The shit gone down last couple of weeks is just outrageous. So it's like, we're done fucking playing, fuckers. Like, you're not going to give up. You're not going to pull down. You're not going to relent. There's too much misery being caused. And does that make sense?
Yep.
It's hard lesson time. Let's just not fucking mess around now. A bit like, say, I don't want to even mention the metaphor, but what's going on in a certain area of Eastern Europe where one party was going very lightly, but one's very dark and nasty. And all it's done is just like force the seemingly good guys to come in with a heavy hand to just clobber them, right? These fuckers, they don't play fair. They don't want to play nice. They've got their agenda, which is ultimately our harvesting or destruction. So it's like GTFO. GTFO. GTFO.
Yep.
We've given you a chance. We've worked out the pure source stuff for 6 months. We've been doing audits and stuff. No more. So yeah, it was just like, it's just perfect timing, hey? So that's why, from my perspective, maybe you just want to check of who was able to perceive this, which caused a lot of ripples going back. Now that I give you this context, right, of what we've done, do you want to just audit the last couple of months and just have a look if anything was able to perceive it? Does that make sense? Or there was just a sense of something coming, right? Which caused a lot of chaos in that.
I think it was just the sense of something coming. I don't think they're really at a capacity to explore too much. Like, they're really scrambling to just stay on top of things. And they, causing harm and stuff, but it's not like, I don't know that they've got much foresight or planning now at the point we're at.
Yeah.
They're just
scrambling for relevance and doing all they can to derail it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just, that's all I'm sort of suggesting, right? So you got to see, why couldn't you perceive it, right?
Yeah.
But you were being kept in the dark for safety, right?
Yep.
But you got to see, from my perspective, that you've been brewing yourself pretty hardcore the last couple of months, right?
Yeah.
So well done to you, all right? And you weren't really perturbed by this. You've been through so much, right? That this is just, we're just executing what we're here to do now,
Yeah.
So I think there's been a lot of efforts to sort of hook you in, because you're a Charlie in the Chocolate Factory ticket, right? And all these people, they want access to your shit, right? Your codes, your talents, your infinite, right? So Source, right? He's gone full David Hasselhoff.
Crazy stuff.
It's a funny analogy. Were you old enough to watch Knight Rider, the show he was in before in the 80s?
No.
You missed out. Kit, the car with the moving Cylon eye. Just doing a sweep of Source and getting tailbone. So he's cool. Source is cool.
Yeah. Like, excited to play.
Exist.
And live, yeah.
It's your time, Source, right? Thank you for fucking holding space for us for 1 trillion years of this bullshit.
Yeah. Good. This comes out in so many ways. Like, this just comes out in so many ways.
So maybe there's one thing that we can check, right? Has there been like a death wish inserted into the community and humanity to make them want to check out, to not be a part of this? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the mental health stuff?
It's like exit route, like exit strategy, exit route sort of thing. Like, it's a it's a sort of setup on entry here as a like not foolproof, but like as a backup. It's just like a backup on the way to come in. There's exit points set up. That's separate to the foggy, like the manipulation foggy stuff though. So, okay, so, all right. So, yeah, there is to do with that foggy spell stuff. It's a part of that.
To give up hope sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
I've got another thing quick, all right? So I've just finished Source, all right? So how about we send out a broadcast to the multiverse and universe that Source is clear, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And as that's going on in the background, How about we connect Earth up to this clear, pure source,
Okay.
her soul? How does she feel about this?
Yeah, she's good. Jumping for joy. So
Let's make sure she's like really locked tight to this pure, clear source now, right? So bring her online.
Yeah, Sources just like wants to pull everyone into like a big bear hug and just like protect them all, sort of thing. Like,
Pure source heart, let it rip.
yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good with that.
I'm feeling very clear. My crown is tingling and shit. Able to perceive, very focused and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When it was very scattered, particularly with the solar flares. So how about we connect up the central suns to the pure source as well and let it permeate through all the network of suns?
Yep. Central sun.
So they've all got the reference of purity, like real pure, uncorrupted, unhijacked source, heart and dream. And allow them to clear themselves out with that reference.
Okay.
If they've had any corruption, so we upgrade all the structure of the universe. And that can permeate through all the galaxies and then all the suns. So we could let it all go, but I just think we need to really initiate this and then we can allow it to play out.
Alright. Anything else that needs to...
What do you feel? Do you sense anything? I think that's a pretty good structure right there, right?
Yeah. I mean, everything comes under that anyway, so...
We'll just make sure while we're here, instead of just trusting that it will work, right? We'll just be...
check. Just like stretching out to every
rippling
corner of the universe.
Permeating, yeah. Do you want to do an audit of all the Weezdak is a portal that was like a magic spell to open up to a negative universe, right? So there's a portal to other universes. Do you want to just do an audit now that we've got the reference of purity, if there's any other misguided portals to other places in the universe that shouldn't have access to our universe? How about we upload that file of that audit of the universe?
Yeah, there are a lot.
Because you know what? If they want to have our energy, all right, we can do a like 1000D pure source encrypted remedy to their universe. So it's not a virus, it's a remedy. So they want to harvest this. They can have a fragment of it to resolve their shit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they can't put it out. So they want to fuck with us. Busted, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is Source cool with that? And the 10,000 central suns?
Yeah.
So imagine it's unquenchable, like I say, the unquenchable fuse. You want to harvest from us? There's a price.
Yeah, cool.
It's interesting. I watched the X-Files movie from 1998, Fight for the Future.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's pretty interesting. You might want to watch it. They put the aliens have a virus here that basically creates that gestates an alien inside the human body. So it's like a parasite, right?
Okay.
And the elites create this vaccine that they've got to give within 96 hours to free the people of the virus. And Scully gets taken. She gets stung by a bee because they created genetic bees with corn to go out and sting people. That's the plan, you know? Interesting with bees and corn. And so Mulder has to go rescue her, and she's in this big ET craft with all bodies that have all the people that have been stung. They've all been frozen, but they're in this giant, massive UFO in the North Pole. And he goes up there and he injects her with the virus vaccine, and it goes into her system and it frees her of all this organic alien technology that's in her frozen. And then it goes through the system, and it's like a corruption for the system, and it blows up, and then it sets off an alarm with this giant craft that's under the ice, and it lifts up and it goes off to wherever it came from. So it's like it detected the solution to all the violation going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it just killed it all, and it set off all the alarms in the craft, and then they just buggered off. So it's a very interesting movie, right? It's 30 years old, like 36 years, 26 years old, but it's like fascinating now with context, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, where are you getting all your stuff from, dude? Chris Carter? Interesting. But yeah, how are you doing, SuperA?
Good. That was a lot of energy when you were healing, for sure.
Very simple. Solutions are simple when you know it, right? The context. So
yeah.
So I guess it's really interesting. So thank you for being you, SuperA, and
thank you for
riding shotgun and seeing everything, right? Seriously, I could tell you were brewing because you were back online, right? And doing videos and going video crunching. So I don't want to put you on the spot, but we can put these out if you want, but we don't have to.
I don't mind. Whatever.
Do you want to be on the radar more? Do you want to be known?
I already feel like I am in like a lot of ways, so it doesn't really bother me.
Don't feel like you're put on a spot now. I'm just offering it. Why don't you sit with it and see how you feel and check your angles, all right?
Okay.
And let me know. I would like to help you get known, right? Like you're epic, and who knows what your potential is, right? So I have what I've got and stuff, and it is what it is, but it's like, check your safety and stuff.
Yeah.
You've done a lot, right? You've invested a lot in me. We've done a lot of sessions. There's been a lot of shit done to you, but we've done a lot of missions as well, and it's like, you deserve to be known, right? So
awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate you saying.
Yeah. You're freaking epic, and you're a gift to us all, right? So I really appreciate you for just your mechanics around me. You just know the right thing to do, and you respect my boundaries, and if you need help, you pull the plug and invest in a session, and we get you back and discover all this stuff, and you know what I mean? Like, you just, it's interesting times, right? So there's a potential here, and I can help bring that about, all right? So have a think, all right?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
But yeah, you're okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to bed.
So, yeah, it's quite late. So why don't you chill down and chill out, and we'll end this and see how we go, right?
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, amazing. Thank you.
High five,
Thank you
Super
so much
Brat.
for bringing me.
High five.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So yeah, I surprised you. Hey,
Yeah, and just
I was playing with it for a while, right? Are you gonna get it? Are you gonna get it? But it's like, you know, what is possible, right? So
yeah,
we are possible, okay? But thank you, my dear. You get some rest, all right?
Thank
I hope you have an awesome night,
Yeah,
sleep, and awesome day tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, you too.
Take care.
Enjoy your final couple of days. Like to yourself.
No worries. Bye.
All right, thanks, Andre. Bye.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for making it to this point if you have. I hope this has been a really epic release for you, and it makes so much sense, alright? I hope it's going to be a really rich one for those data variables and the algorithm of pattern recognition, and maybe some of the concepts I've said have been too over your head to actually perceive, but this one really helps you get it. Like I said, the many ingredients of the post-election sort of craziness has waned. We're in the after effects and, you know, having a bit of a letdown to really recoup after the 5 or 6 years of horrendous sort of multi-dimensional trauma that's been going on, and set up for failures and all this sort of stuff, and the horrible stuff that's going on to humanity, which, as I've used my concept, pure source diamond, it's if you're here, then you probably haven't found the answers anywhere else, and you've probably been through a lot in your journey. And yeah, it's just, to me, I just offer this content because this is the stuff I was seeking. So I offer the perspectives in here because they're the answers I've been getting all along, and I just haven't found them anywhere else. So I appreciate you allowing me this outlet of this, right? So it's getting light and dark and stuff. I'm not going to be here too long. I don't know how long this is. I'm not aiming to... My intro was probably a bit longer than what I said, but I wanted to give you some context of many things. And I just want to round this out with certain things, alright? So I'll just go to the image relative to the pure source, alright? So as I said in the intro, I was wanting to ease into this after the election, do a recalibration show and some other stuff, but I really had the need to get this one out, right? This video with the main mission that we did is a massive one, alright? But it's crazy to me, this is already 6 weeks ago, alright? And so I released it 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago now, alright? And to me, right after that, it was game on. Me personally, I was aiming to have a bit of downtime because I knew how, if you watched our Intuitive Potential Part 5 and 6, and as I said, I highly recommend them, alright? I went hard into all this stuff, but the week leading up to that, I was massively gone after, and it was very complex what was going on, and there was an effort for divide and rule and go at allies and all this stuff, boundary violations and all this sort of stuff, right? But I was getting a lot of dreams and a lot of variables. The metaphor was a bit like, I don't know if you've watched Homer Simpson early on, and there was a clown show episode. It's one of the best, right? And he's having all these synchronistic vision sort of moments, and he's not able to put it together. But I basically literally got the freaking Carney multi-dimensional clown show metaphor going, alright? And that's a metaphor one of my allies put together with some of the things I said, because earlier in the year I was saying to my allies, not my monkey, not my circus. And literally when I started doing that in May, I think Cirque du Soleil set up just around the corner, and I forget what the name is, but it's about dreaming sort of thing, right? And I've had 007 fracker sort of thing in my dreams, hacking me and all this sort of stuff, and reading codes and all this sort of stuff, right? So long story short, right after release GSF 35, it was game on for 2 weeks, and I was aiming to have a real downtime, but it's been hardcore for the last 3 weeks, alright? But this week leading up to this release, we put so much together, alright? And what we found out was that there was an actual effort to reanimate the invader, but it was nothing to the level it was before, but the echo of it was enough, alright? So we had to really look at this all again, alright? And we worked out a lot, and that's where I offered the concept of divide light, alright? We worked out that light was actually going at us, the light worker sort of aspect in the universe here and all that, because their concepts are under threat, because I've offered the spiritual no man's land relative to the 22D and all that sort of stuff, right? So what I'm aiming to do, if I haven't done it already, I'm going to be offering a next version of my sovereignty declaration, because we worked out a lot of these solution things this week, right? So it's very important that I get some components out. I was aiming to reduce the size, or it might be a page or so bigger, right? with the new concepts that rounded out a lot. I've been actually holding off releasing that since July, alright? I've had it in the back of my mind to do, and it's just been, we've been playing catch up, alright? And it got pretty busy leading up to the October 5th, alright? There was Milton going on, so we did more after that. But in this I offered the Asher component, and we looked a bit more at that, at her after this as well, alright? But what I'm just getting to is that we did a lot more in this week, and we had massive success and put together a lot. So some homework might be, if you're into movies and stuff, is the movie Black Hat with Chris Hemsworth. It's an epic hacking movie, right? And there's a TV show called Special Opt5, which is freaking epic, right? And it's interesting, they're like real high level operatives, and they don't work for light or dark, they work in the grey. But I might be offering some concepts relative to them as references in the future videos, but I just really needed to get this out with this in it so I can build upon in the future. But this is a massive win, alright? I hope you really get a lot from this, okay? And I really appreciate you being here to be able to even contemplate this stuff. My rationale for offering these things is to help you see how vast we are. It's not about myself or SuperA, who I'm very grateful again for allowing me to share this publicly. This is a bit of a test for her to see how it is and cover angles and put herself out there more than she already has, alright? And yeah, I've done more with her, alright? And we've really kicked ass, alright? So it's more I'm trying to be a leader on the possibilities of who and what we are, especially in alignment with all the mechanics and the energy hygiene. And then the sovereignty. I've got a lot of mozzies around. I've got to round this out, other I'm going to get eaten alive here. But yeah, my whole philosophy of going through everything I've done, coming to the appreciation of just really mastering energy hygiene. And then, so we did an energy hygiene pranic healing on source itself, right? So, and then the sovereignty declaration about defining your boundaries. So, you know, we are the authority of our energy, our body, on a multi-dimensional level and stuff. So we've just been set up for massive failure, right, by all this stuff, to be an open book for violation. So I hope all this really helps. I hope it's really amazing what you get in this. It's a while since I've listened to it. I've still got to go through and make the main body of this. So there might be things I forget to bring up here. But isn't it interesting, right? The thing is, like, we are the Frodos of the universe, right? They need our help. A bit like what I said about the Metatron stuff at the start. Don't assume that they know, right? Just because they're vast awareness and stuff, they're more trapped than us, right? And that's why this is such a battleground, because we're the enigmas, we're the wild cards, we're the ones that have this infinite potential to do all this stuff, right? So I really hope this inspires you to remove any ceilings that you might have on yourself. Just operate like, maybe I can, or instead of that's not possible, I can't do that, alright? Maybe you can, alright? So maybe this week with what we've done, 6 weeks after this, you've felt a lot of shifts, alright? And I'll be including what I worked out with these people in the sovereignty declaration. So have a look out for the dates around my website on the Access to Me page. When it's up, I'll usually have a date of when I release a new version. And then I'll talk about this stuff in the future as well. But this release, I really needed to get this main mission out to build upon in the future. So I really hope you get a lot from it. The vast majority of this stuff is stuck. There's just some structural things that we had to take care of. But this was a massive strategic victory that got a bit of pushback, and it was like all or nothing sort of thing, battle of the bulge for the invaders sort of thing. And they've been going at us hard, but that progress, that parabolic, this is our time, right? So I really hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling inspired, this post-election sort of stuff. Well done making it to this time. And a massive thank you to SuperA as well, right? I thank you for being so epic, and so many of you that have been through so much behind the scenes. It's always an honor and a privilege, and it's like Christmas for me when you guys come through, and we're really rocking it now, right? So thank you as always for being here. I hope you get a lot from this as always. I highly recommend going and revisiting some of those ones that I done recently if you haven't, to see what you get. Like, really put it pedal to the metal time, guys. Don't trust anything out there. I know I'll talk about the US sort of stuff in every calibration sort of thing, but we'll see where we go, guys. I'm not sure what I'll do in the future, but just build upon it and see what you get, okay? Thanks for being here. Until next time, Andre out.
The sun is gonna keep on shining right ahead on the horizon. My love for you always keep on rising. Everything's gonna be alright tonight. Oh yeah, my love for you is gonna keep on rising. The sun's gonna keep on shining right next to the horizon. My love for you will keep on rising. Everything's gonna be alright. The sun's gonna keep on shining right next to the horizon. My love for you will keep on rising. Everything's gonna be
swimming in December, heading for the city lights. 975, we're sharing each other, nearer than farther. Scent of lemon drips from your eyes. We are the people that rule the world, fostering in every boy and girl, all rejoicing in the world. Take me now, we can drive a little adventure, loving
John Lilly once put it this way: there are no limits at all to the human mind whatsoever, except those we impose on ourselves because of our beliefs. And those limits are also beliefs to be transcended. And that's a view that suggests that the possibilities of human transformation are virtually infinite. And we have no way of knowing the outer horizon of what it means to be human.
And really, to understand all this, everything, you have to go very, very deep into a study of history, consciousness, neurophysiology, everything. You have to be the supreme eclectic type of leaning, and you really have to be wanting to know who you are and what everything's about.
And the thing that you'll find when you go to sacred sites, if you're very humble about it, is that you are on a personal journey, and the sacred site will respond to you in a way that is appropriate only to you. The information is always what you are searching for. And it's the intent you give that energy that defines whether it is used for right action or not. And it is inside these sacred spaces that you will be reminded that you are a god, that you are a bright star.
So what you're trying to do is move through the course without ricocheting off walls or creating karma. You're trying to slide through things smoothly. How do you do that? It's called flowing. There's a technique that you can do that will allow you to touch some part of your inner being that has more knowledge than your conscious state does.